Christine Persichetti. For more than half a century, the tablet newspaper has been making Christmas bright. The paper's annual campaign makes sure every boy and girl in Brooklyn and Queens has a gift to open on Christmas morning. As Currents News' Jessica Easthope reports, one of those generous donors has been supporting the campaign since the very beginning.
As quick as it is to turn a newspaper page, Matt Schiller is taken back in time. The tablet's business manager from 1973 to 1993 can point to the place where it all started.
See the tan building with the clock on it, where the Bright Christmas idea was born in 1963.
With the hope that it would change lives.
There's a couple of charities that I really believe in, but Bright Christmas is probably the biggest one. I know it's in good hands.
At a time when the tablet was first digitizing its operation and mailing list, Bright Christmas had a humble beginning, but its reach was anything but.
It was a huge difference for those families. It really resonated with our readers. People loved the idea that they were doing something for people close to home.
And it has stayed close to home. Over the decades, the fund has made Christmas bright for thousands of children and families and agencies helping those less fortunate. Matt says in the early days, Bright Christmas was evidence that generosity came from the heart, not the wallet.
They quilted blankets, they would donate clothes, they wanted to take care of the people of Brooklyn and Queens. They were reading those stories and they were moved to action.
Now, as tens of thousands of newly arrived count on the church for help, the Bright Christmas campaign continues to evolve right along with the needs of the Diocese of Brooklyn.
Bright Christmas, as far as I know, has never had a goal where they've said, we have to raise this much. The important thing is how many people are giving, because that's how you know you've connected with people. That's a connection to me that is like unbreakable.
But in an ever-changing diocese, in an ever-changing city, Matt hopes the goal of Bright Christmas never changes. Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
Matt and dozens of other donors are already helping kids have a bright Christmas this year. So far, the paper has raised more than $57,000, but they're trying to raise $125,000. So if you want to help them reach their goal, just go online to thetablet.org/brightchristmas. You can also make a check out to Bright Christmas and mail it to LB number 2118, P.O. Box 95,000 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the zip code 19195. U.S. bishops are asking for more security for houses of worship. In a recently released letter to Congress, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, the head of the USCCB's Committee for Religious Liberty, asked leaders for at least $200 million in federal funds for the nonprofit Security Grant Program. It provides funding support to nonprofit organizations that are at a high risk of a terrorist attack. Here to talk more about how Cardinal Dolan and the U.S. bishops are protecting the faithful is the national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, John Lavenberg. Hi, John.
Hi, Christine.
So, John, what exactly is this money going to be used for? How will it help with security?
Yeah, so Cardinal Dolan, he outlined a number of things, specifics in that letter. He talked about improvements to infrastructure of houses of worship, funding for emergency planning and training, upgrading security systems and renovation projects and some of those things. And in general, what he really said is that for vulnerable communities, this grant is especially helpful to make them feel especially safe.
All right, I want to take a closer look at the letter that he wrote. In it, Cardinal Dolan specifically highlights the rise in anti-Semitic attacks due to the conflict in Gaza. He says, right now, we recognize that the Jewish community is especially vulnerable. Stories of attacks regularly appear on our news feeds, and there are even reports of anti-Semitic incidents having nearly quadrupled since the October 7th terrorist attack of Hamas on Israel in comparison with the same time period last year. So what else are Cardinal Dolan and other Catholic leaders doing to help the Jewish people?
Yeah, so it really boils down to solidarity, standing in solidarity with the Jewish people, both in their words and their actions. So Cardinal Dolan, Bishop Brennan, and other faith leaders last week, they met with survivors of that October 7th Hamas attack in New York. I know in San Angelo, Texas, the local bishop there organized a Hanukkah celebration with the interfaith community. So it's things like that that bishops, Catholics across the country have really taken initiative on to show their solidarity and be in support of the Jewish community.
And Catholic churches have also seen some attacks in recent years, right?
That's right. And the USCCB put out recent data that since May 2020, about 300 Catholic churches have been vandalized. And that, in that is churches in Brooklyn and Queens. There were 2 attacks on July 8th this year where a statue was desecrated and a church was desecrated, respectively. And then also this October, there were multiple instances of vandalism at Catholic churches in Brooklyn as well. So it's something that the Catholic community continues to deal with and speak out about and try and address.
Absolutely. All right, John Lavenberg, national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, you can read more stories about this online at thetablet.org. Finally tonight, for many Italians, it wouldn't be Christmas without it. Panettone is a sweetbread holiday staple served in households all over the world. But in the Diocese of Brooklyn, it can be found year-round at one Williamsburg bakery, whose owners say giving back is just as important as finding the best ingredients. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has the story.
Like many of the things you see on display at Paneton in Williamsburg, it all starts with a snowfall of flour. But among the croissants, cookies, and cakes, panettone is their shining star.
We don't just make it for Christmas. We make it all year round. My mom often says that she actually married my dad for his panettone. You want one now?
Pastry chef Belena Settapani is the manager at her family's bakery. Her father, owner Nino Settapani, has been making the sweetbread for decades, but Belena brings a modern flavor to the traditional treat, adding Nutella and candy and helping create a panettone advent calendar.
Panettone doesn't always have the best reputation, and I'm here to change that.
And their product is nothing like the boxed panettone you can buy at a store. Made with the best ingredients they can get their hands on, producing the Christmas classic isn't for the faint of heart.
So we're doing the first mix, and this is going to be on our shelves 2 days from now.
Everyone kind of checks in on different parts because it's a 3-day process to make one batch.
It only lasts maybe 4 to 6 weeks, the maximum. And when you get it, it's nice and fresh and moist and has a lot of aroma.
It's clear Nino and Belena take their baking seriously. But what's more important to the Divine Mercy parishioners is their faith and how they mix the two together.
Faith, for us, it's really something that goes into our everyday giving back to our community. It's really important to us. And we don't just say that, we mean it.
Settapani hires from their own community and has training internships for those in need, helping build skills that will put them on a path toward a brighter future. Donations to churches and hospitals are what keep them going on busy days during the Christmas rush.
I feel that that's the only way to do it. And you cannot run a business where you only take. You have to run a business where you share the love and share the peace that should come with the coming of Christ.
They bake with precision and control and package with a firm hand. But at Settapani, their panettone is all love. In Williamsburg, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
That is this Currents News update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.